Hi everyone, this is Darren from Simnation, just continuing the Zero to Hero series with Appalachian State. So previously we had talked about staff hiring, some recruiting. The recruiting results are in, of course, and as you can see, Appalachian State did a pretty good job. They were 8th overall, first against our prestige. Don't put much weight in those metrics because, again, how the CPU determines it, I'm not a big fan of. In the case of Appalachian State, I recruited over 30 players and got 30 commits, so that's why I'm eighth, is by sheer number. One I'm a little bit better about, but that's again because Appalachian State is just not a really good team. So I'll have to work through that. But today's video is really going to focus on position changes in training camp. The one thing I will tell you about position changes that you really need to think about is what is your philosophy and what do you want to do? So in the case of Appalachian State, I'm going to run a vertical offense, which means that I need to make sure I have a quarterback who has an arm, intelligence. If I was running a West Coast, it would probably be accuracy and intelligence because I'm going to throw the ball shorter. I need running backs probably can get to the outside because normally in a vertical you're going to run off the edges, not through the middle. You could do draws, but I don't really have the linemen for that. You want linemen who generally are going to be technique blockers and are good at pass blocking above all else. Now, again, you could argue you could do strength and then that and do pass blocking, but because I'm going to be dealing with likely more pass rush scenarios, I want my people to have some speed because I need for them to be able to move with the defensive ends or defensive tackles. My wide receivers need to have speed, ideally hands. Ideally, if I was doing a West Coast, it'd probably be it'd be agility and hands. Speed is pretty universal. You're always going to want to have speed because speed affects what happens after they catch the ball too. But in this case, speed and hands. My tight ends are going to be receiving tight ends, so they need to have speed and hands too. Defense wise, I'm going to run a 4-3 hybrid with a 3-3-5 as a backup. So what that means is my defensive line is going to have some depth, and I'm going to have to play the package, which means that when I'm run blocking, I need people who are strong, decent agility, good tackling. When I'm pass rushing, I need speed and agility above all else. So defensive tackles, I'm going to look for some people who have strength. I'm going to look for some people who have speed. Linebackers, generally, my middle linebacker will probably be my best tackle. He doesn't necessarily have to have speed. He needs to have strength and agility. My two outside linebackers are going to have to play in coverage a lot. So they're going to need to have speed and intelligence. Cornerback, straight up speed in most cases because I'm not going to run zone. If I was running zone, agility would factor in a little bit more, but we'll look at speed and hands. And then my safeties, I'm not going to play in the box a lot this year with defense, so I will want people to have speed. The reason for mentioning this is it's going to kind of explain what I'm about to do. So if we go in and look at the roster, again, I'll go position by position. Quarterback wise, I have too many quarterbacks, so I'm going to move somebody. Carr's going to be the starter, and you can see why he's a good fit for my system. Richardson is not going to be the backup because, frankly, he's stupid. But either Vaughn or Weems will be the backup. Weems is someone I'm familiar with. He actually came from another one of my teams in Colorado. But kind of the odd guy out here is going to be McCoy. He's also the guy who probably can best move to another position. 82 speed is a little bit too slow to be a corner or a free safety or strong safety in my system. But what he looks like he could be good at is he could be a good linebacker. So we're going to go and move him to linebacker. And again, just go Hill. Generally, sometimes if I have it and I will encourage, in this case, I'm not going to encourage him because I don't need to. And that I'm good on quarterback. I over recruited running back knowing that I was going to have to move people around. So what I'm going to look for here is I want to generally keep people who look like good running backs as running backs. So Alvarado, Major both look pretty good as a running back. and I think I should probably try to keep them though. The one guy I do kind of want to move just because he's got really good speed, he's got good agility, is going to be Casper. Now, his tackling is really bad, but one of the reasons why I want to make the move before training camp is you get your biggest lift of the season at training camp. So if you're going to do position changes, the best time to do them is going to be at training camp. And I would highly recommend that you do it at that time. If you change the position throughout the season, you're just not going to see the same lift, and it's frankly going to be a little bit counterproductive in a way. So always try to focus on making the change at that point. Um, Cornerback wise, again, I really want to move Casper to corner, so I'm just going to move him to corner. And let's just see here. Corner. Now, depending on what he is, like if he has morale issues, I probably want to talk to him before I do it. Generally, I'm going to encourage him. But in this case, Casper doesn't have those issues, so I'm not really worried about that at all. Um, and then I'm probably going to want to move two more people because I don't need many running backs in my system. Sawyer is another guy who looks like he could make the move pretty good. He's got decent tackling, good hands, so we'll go ahead and move Sawyer as well. Cornerback. I'm probably not going to move anybody to safety because safety, I think I just need to move a safety from strong safety to free safety. The other guy I'm going to move is Rigsby. Rigsby is interesting in the fact that he's not very fast. I could actually move Rigsby over to. Yeah, we're going to move Rigs. Actually, hmm. Yeah, we'll move Rigsby to. We're going to move Rigsby to strong safety. I don't know why I keep doing that. So his morale is horrible. This is a guy I'm going to want to talk to. So I'm going to move him over to strong safety. He's a driven player. Uh, we'll just encourage him. The other ones, he hasn't really done anything. Fullback, I'm not going to touch. My fullbacks are in good shape. I don't need to move them. Tight end, I think I just need to think about what I want out of this position. I think I have what, six? I don't need to make a move here, but the one guy I am going to probably move on from is Dupree. His speed is so bad that I just probably don't want to deal with it. So we'll get rid of Dupree. I could look at moving a fullback if I wanted to. And in fact, I think I may do that. So fullback wise, I'm going to want to take one of the better ones. They're both pretty good actually. So I will probably move Flores because he's got better agility. Um, and he's got better hands. So we're going to move Flores to tight end just because I need some speed at tight end, and I don't really need fullbacks, candidly. If I want to, I could have moved Dupree, but I got rid of Dupree, so probably a bad move on my part. I'm not going to go back and fix that, or I may go back offline and fix that and just move Dupree to fullback because the 40 speed won't matter at that level. Again, this is one of those cases where I have dramatically over recruited this area, mostly just because I knew that I was likely going to be moving some people because uh, I wasn't going to be able to find good corners in the off season. So just looking through the different people to try to see who I want to move, if I want to move anybody. I think Rice. He's a senior. He's not really a good corner, but what he will give me is depth. So we'll just go ahead and move him over. He's not going to fit into my system anyways. Generally, I don't think I want to move most people here just because there isn't a lot of reason to. Tarver is someone I may move because while he's a decent receiver, he doesn't have great skill at the position, and that 72 hands as a corner is going to be fun to watch to see what he does. So we'll go ahead and move him. I don't think I need to move anybody from guard, candidly. They're good pass blockers. I have one guy who's balanced that'll probably help me quite a bit. I am short on center if I remember correctly, so I'm going to need to move a center. So to me, I'm just going to move Nix and then I'll recruit for center next year. His morale's low. This is just going to be a problem, so I'll encourage him. Um, and now you can see I have 3 centers, which is what I want. Punters, 3 punters is generally too many, but I'll leave it alone. 4 kickers is definitely too many. I'm not going to let that stand. So we're going to take the worst of the kickers, which is Mims, and we'll just get rid of Mims. Anytime you release a player in the new season, I generally would tell you to release the center before National Signing Day or release the player before National Signing Day. If you do that, then you don't take the penalty in the new season. By me doing this when I'm at training camp, I will take a penalty for anyone who values loyalty as I recruit. Now, recruiting is just going to be a pain for me in general because I don't really have any money. Now, there's a lot of movement that I'm going to have to make between my defensive tackles and my defensive ends. One of the reasons is some of these guys are just really, really small. And I'm not sure that I want to keep them. Like if we look at Dial is 319 pounds. He is really not that good. I didn't recruit this guy, by the way. So we're just going to get rid of Dial. I'll take the penalty. Honestly, the penalty isn't going to be as bad as actually letting him see the field. Um, I think that the other guys like Francis, Francisco uh, is really too small to play the position. 247 is just, he's too small. And also, if you look at him, he is much better as a defensive end. So we're going to move him to defensive end. I may end up with quite a few, probably more defensive tackles and defensive ends than I want. I could move him to linebacker, but I tend to prefer faster linebackers. So, in general, just because I prefer faster linebackers, um, it will, it's just not a good idea for me to move him. This guy's not bad. He's not great. He's got really good strength, and he's got great size, so I should leave him where he is. As we go to defensive end, again, what I'm looking for here is trying to figure out where people should be. At 265 pounds, 6'6", with 82 strength, 64 speed, Barkley really is a defensive tackle to me. He's on the small size, but he's going to do a lot better there than he's going to do anywhere else for me. I'll keep Begay because he's a speed rusher for me. Burley is, I don't know about Burley though. I'll keep him at defensive end just for depth. Fortin, probably going to keep him there. Francesco, we already moved. Hunter is, again, one of these guys that I think is going to, I'm going to move him over to defensive tackle. He will be more of a speed rusher on the defensive tackle, and because I run a 4-3, it'll make more sense when I do that. Defensive end, Mendez, again, his size at 264 means that he's really a defensive tackle, so I'm going to move him over there. Sauls, I think I'm fine with, and then Van Winkle, I think I'm fine with. So as you can see, I have quite a few defensive tackles now. I'm okay with that. It may buy me a little bit of time. I have way too many linebackers to be candid, so some of these guys are going to have to move. McCormick is pretty slow, but he'll make a good defensive end. So we'll move him over to defensive end just because he's never going to see the light of the playing field with me. McKinney is another guy at 232. He's got decent size. He's a good tackler, but again, I'm gonna move him over to defensive end as well. Uh, he'll give me some solid run package strength, which is what I want. And then I think that generally speaking, I don't think I want Ash as a linebacker. I have to think about what I want to do with Ash. I'm not a big fan of Ash. Um, One thing to consider is you generally, with a linebacker in defensive line, want this to be above 55. Really, online, you want it above 60. He really is too weak to be on the thing. Now, McCoy isn't much better, but McCoy can be in coverage. I'm not going to blitz him. Ash is just, he's too small. Again, not a guy I recruited, so we're going to get rid of him. Benton, Joel, Martins. I think I'm I think I'm gonna be okay with this. Uh, just gonna look here real quick. I need to make some decisions. I think we're good. I don't think I need to move anyone else. Um, I think we're good. I don't think I need to make any more changes. So we'll go to cornerback. As you can see here, I have a pretty good cornerback core. I got speed with 95, 90, 89. The only guy who really doesn't fit in here is going to be Wofford. Um, he's just, unfortunately, he's too slow. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just making sure that I have the right people. I have a little thing off this side that's telling me who I should have will. Did I not move Rigsby earlier? Oh, did Rigsby go? I think I moved him to safety, actually. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, we're good though. I'm actually gonna probably move Rigsby over because I have a depth issue that I gotta deal with. I like having two at every position, so what this now means is I'm gonna need to move a free safety over because I have more free safeties than I do strong safety, so that I have three of each. Who to move? I'll move Davis. So we'll move Davis over, and then that should complete it. So again, now I have a pretty good roster. It's going to fit the 4-3 and the vertical that I'm going to run. So I think I'm good with the position changes. I'm going to quickly go through training camp or training. First thing you should always look at with training is what are your coaches good at? In this case, Riddle, who's the head coach, is good at defensive line and linebackers. So anyone I need to mentor in those two areas, I'm going to do that. Quarterbacks and offensive line, probably quarterbacks here, because I want him to mentor my new starting quarterback. This guy's just bad at everything. So, um, well, I'll cover this in the next video. But so what I now need to do is go hill. These are ones I inherited. Generally, don't go above 22 hill. It's always a good idea to stay somewhere near 20, 21. If you go to 22 or higher, you run the risk of fatiguing out your people. And if you do that, it's just not going to end well. So, what I like to do generally is intelligence matters to me because I like smart players. But if I see like people have very low strength, I don't really care about the kickers. They don't matter. Quarterbacks, I don't really care about either. But anyone less than 50 that is running like a linebacker or offensive line, like this, well, like Peebles, I need to put him on a strength. So I'll just put physical and we'll assign that to him. Um, Quarterbacks, I'm going to generally just go with what's Hill. This isn't what I normally would go with. I would actually, this is a 22. I would actually change this to 6 and 6 like that. And then what I would just do is position, just go straight down and essentially assign them the quarterback one. And then for intelligence, again, like I said, if you have less than 50 intelligence, you really need to be made smarter. So what we'll do in this case is we'll focus on intelligence. Um, but in this case, I'm just going to default schedule them because the last person who actually had the team probably did some things, and then I'll just keep doing that down the thing. Like I don't want anything on aggressive, and so what I would just do is click on training, see who's on what, switch this oval, just go to default, and I'm fine with that. And then see what's downhill, physical. I'm okay with those actually. Speed, I'm okay with. And then that's how you do training. Of course, Hill goes back to what are they good at. Um, Generally, I try to aim at freshmen. A lot of times there will be notable exceptions, but since he's good with defensive line and linebacker, what I want to do is pick one of the people who I think is going to be someone I would like him to make better. So in this case, I'm going to choose McCoy, who's of course the person who moved. Me clicking that doesn't do anything. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. So we'll choose Daryl McCoy. This guy was good with quarterback, so I'm gonna choose Lee Carr, who's his new starter. I'll choose one. Reed Rice moved from a position, so we'll do that, and then that's it. So general overview, general summary is know your system, make position changes that make sense against your system. Just understand basics of what systems mean. 3-4, you want fast or linemen, or you want bigger defensive ends. However you want to play that, fast or linebackers, because you're going to blitz more. 4-3, you want bigger linemen, and then solid, balanced linebackers, and so on. If you're going to play box sets with safeties, you want safeties that have strength and agility in addition to speed. If you're going to play them in coverage, you really care about speed and hands. And then just focus on what are your coaches good at. Make sure you use the HC focus. Make sure you don't go over 22 in terms of the amount of points you allocate to training. And then that's it for now. Hope you like this video. The season kicks off tonight, week 1. It's Tuesday, and we'll see how this goes. I'll do another video in pretty rapid succession here. I'm going to pump out probably 3 or 4 videos today alone, just because I have some free time and I want to use it for this. So have a great day. Have a happy new year if I don't do another of these videos before then. And thank you for your time.